Day number 20. Happy Jewish American Heritage Month. We're doing a video a day. You see how it's all backlit back there, but my face is still clearly legible. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it shows. Be careful, right? You don't wanna look like one of those, prisoner identification things where the face is all black and you're all backlit back there. That's not cool. All right, so what I want to talk today about is this anti-Semitic thing is really sort of freaking me out. The fact that it's just like anti-Semitic is bad enough, but it's sort of supported by just complete ignorance and stupidity. You know what I mean? You say, just like, river to the sea, and they got guys on campus going like, what river, what city? They're like, duh, I don't know, duh. Come on, man. You can't be that stupid. If you're gonna have a opinion about something, just be educated on it, would you please? So I've been just like, what is happening? Did the clot shot just rearrange everybody's DNA and everybody's gone completely mental? And then I got a hold of my man Jordan Peterson, and this made so much sense. I was like, oh, so this is what's going on. So I'll bring down the sound and I'll play these two cuts for you. Make it a quick one. All right, here we go.
Is we can view all human social relations and the past itself through a meta-Marxist narrative that proclaims that there are only oppressors and victims, and that all you have to do to be moral is to be on the side of the victim. Now, the shadow side of that is that once you proclaim your moral superiority and you're on the side of the victim, well, number one, you don't have to think anymore. You just have to identify the two sets of players. And number two, you're moral without effort, because all you have to do is feel sorry for the victims. And then consequence number three is the oppressor, being intrinsically evil, can be the target of everything that's resentful and bitter and absolutely dreadful about you. Now, that's the standard narrative that's being taught on university campuses, and the Palestinians play the role of victim. Now, the notion is we can...
Yes, come on, let's give it up for Mr. Jordan Peterson. Wasn't that awesome? So he's basically saying all of these college kids that are, and it's all this like, God is dead, I'm intellectually superior because I'm an atheist, and I don't like worship Jesus, but I kneel on the pavement to like the sign that says Black Lives Matter. Oh, I kneel on the pavement for that, and I get my baptism, I get my clot shot, all that, putting a wafer in my mouth is really stupid, but an mRNA thing in my arm, oh, that's the height of intelligence. And now it's like, okay, so Jordan Peterson puts it together. This anti-Semitism isn't based on any sort of genocide or river to the sea crybabiness. All of that outrage, all of that stuff that sounds like this, all of that stuff, okay, all that stuff is an ego trip. Is like these kids saying, I'm morally superior because I identify with the oppressed. So we're going to put the Palestinians in that column. It used to be African Americans and women, right, were in that column, and as these groups start to become more right wing and just are rejecting the whole ridiculous idiocy of the left. And then they say, oh, well, we can't rely on these guys being a victim anymore. So now it's immigrants and it's Palestinian and it's transgenders. And so I get it now. I get it. It's an oppressor oppressed narrative and whatever's in that box. And so it's not blacks anymore, it's not women anymore, it's not even gay people anymore. When I was growing up, it was blacks, women, and gays, oh my. Blacks, women, and gays, oh my. You couldn't talk about the 80 million and 80 million Chinese who were starved to death in the Great Leap Forward. You couldn't talk about the hundreds of thousands of Japanese that were burnt alive in Hiroshima or Nagasaki. You didn't weep for them. You couldn't weep for the Ukrainians, 30 million Ukrainians who Stalin starved to death. You couldn't weep for them. You couldn't weep for the Rwandans, the Tutsis and Hutsis who hacked each other to death, hundreds of thousands of them. They were black, right? But you couldn't weep for them because they weren't part of the African American women's rights, gay thing that I grew up with. Those groups were in the oppressor box. They were the ones who were being oppressed. So identifying with those groups made you morally superior. I get it now. All right? And so let's listen again to my man Jordan Peterson, and he articulates the same thing again, says it a little bit different way, but it's worth listening to. Here we go.
In spite, that oppressor-oppressed narrative, it just gives you all of that at once. Imagine that people have beliefs because they explain the world, but also imagine that they have beliefs because they confer upon the holder unearned moral virtue. And this oppressor-oppressed narrative is a 2-for-1 because it provides you with a comprehensive explanation of every sociological, political, and economic interaction imaginable, because they can all be viewed through the lens of power. Plus, it presents you with a one-move solution to being moral. This is where I think the anti-Semitism is really instantly understandable, right? Because there's nothing more fun than being anti-Semitic with a moral twist. But if you read the history of anti-Semitism, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
That's not new. That's not new. You identify the Jews as oppressors, and then you're moral for persecuting them. And that's perfect, right? If you're resentful and bitter, and you need a target for your bile and spite. That oppressor-oppressed narrative.
All right, man. I think that deserves a boom. Okay, did you hear what he said? Unearned moral superiority, moral virtue, unearned. All you have to do is lie and put yourself in agreement with who's ever in the box that is filled with the oppressed, you know? Oh, is it the colonialists now and the this and the that? Whatever we're crying about now. And it doesn't matter about the horrors of the Holocaust. So now you put the Palestinians where the blacks and the women and the gays used to be when I was growing up, and now it's Palestinians, transgenders, and immigrants. All right? Now they're in fashion to be oppressed, and you can have meaningless moral virtue, unearned moral virtue by making an allegiance with those groups. Brilliant. Brilliant. You don't want to be one of those people. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history. Because now with the internet, everything is being recorded. Your descendants are going to be able to go back and to say, Grandpa, Grandma, where did you stand? And you don't want to be seen, your memory, stamped on the fabric of space and time. You don't want that memory to be one of somebody of complete and unmatched, unequal stupidity and just unbelievable lack of courage. You don't want that to be attached to your spirit, okay? You don't want to be one of those people. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history. You don't want to be an anti-Semite, align yourself in the oppressor, the box of oppressor treats, fun little candies, so you can be morally superior, unearned moral virtue. You don't want to be one of those people. So join the movement. Get your blue square. End hate, and end hate of the fact that, because basically it's people don't want to realize that they don't have courage, that they're lazy. So, we want to end not just the hate of other people, but end the hate of ourselves, and the hate of our laziness, and the hate of the fact that we don't like to be this yellow-bellied sapsucker. All right, well, this is a short one. So winter is coming. Winter is coming. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history. Get on the right team. Drop me a comment. Send me an email. This thing is not only going to be stamped on the internet, but it's also going to be stamped on an NFT, right? So you have an opportunity to be a part of the cool kids, man. Winter's coming. Winter's coming. You want to be warm. All right. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir.